This is the WHTC Morning News with Gary Stevens and Peg McNichol on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to WHTC's Morning News for this Friday, May 21st. Friday mornings at this time, we travel Michigan, taking a look at travel and tourism in our state and some of the attractions that are going on in our area. But we'll focus our discussion with Dave Lorenz of Pure Michigan a little bit differently today because of some occurrences and situations that are going on. Dave, good morning and welcome back to WHTC.
Good morning, Gary. Always good to be with you.
Glad you are with us as well. First of all, we're sort of honoring our friend Ed Verskier, who passed away last week at the age of 76. His memorial service is tomorrow from 2 to 4 at Mulder Chapel here in Holland. And of course, not only working here at WHTC, he also worked in the Grand Rapids market, basically been in the business from the mid-1960s until 2019. And a lot of people have been sharing their memories of him.
You know, I've known Ed for a very long time. We were friends, for years and years. And, you know, the thing is, you can grow up with listening to people either on radio or TV, seeing them, hearing them, and you feel like you're a friend with them, you know, because, you know, as listeners, we know all about you, Gary, you know, so, you know, we are friends with you. Now, whether you even know us or not, you never know, but it's always that one-way relationship that we enjoy. And then if you ever have a chance to really meet these people along the way, it's a real blessing. And Ed was the voice of TV 13 for many years, doing the bumpers and such they call. I think he did some commercials way back then with TV as well, voiceovers, and then came back to his love of radio here. So it was really great to reconnect with him over times, and he was just a really great guy. I'm sorry to see him go.
Yes, and a lot of people have good memories of Ed Verskier on the radio. Yesterday at Dow Diamond, Governor Whitmer basically threw open the gates by June 1st, July 1st. A lot of the restrictions are going to go away. It's been an announcement. Many people said it's been long in coming, but it is going to become a reality. I would think, Dave Lorenz, that the travel and tourism industry are among those who are very, very delighted over what the governor said yesterday.
I was so very happy to to find that happening. You know, we knew that there'd be another move after the CDC announced the mask order and, you know, not being able or not being, required to wear masks if you've been vaccinated. And when the governor's office came out with that comment that, hey, listen, you know, same thing here, get vaccinated, because if we get to that 70% level of vaccinations, that's considered herd immunity. You add on top of that all the people who have unfortunately gotten sick and recovered, and they have their natural antibodies and such. So we are well on our path to beating this virus. And I was thrilled to hear the governor come out in support of reopening all outdoor activities. That is a huge deal, especially for sports fans, for our sports businesses that really need those sports groups coming into their communities. You know, there are sports authorities all throughout the state. Grand Rapids is probably the biggest in this region, but they're all over. And we work with them through a group called Pure Michigan Sports. And that group has been really crossing their fingers for a long time that we'd be able to get those events back. And a lot of them have been going to places like Indiana because of their much more open stance on the vaccinations and the whole policy to do with the virus. So this is good news for us. If nothing else, I know there are still a lot of people very concerned. So please listen to this. The governor didn't say you have to take your mask off. The governor said, if you're vaccinated, you may start to get out there and live your life again in a different way and kind of get back to normal. So if you're still uncomfortable about, people taking the mask off, keep your mask on and do it proudly, just if people look at you, don't worry about it. If you think that's the right thing to do, no problem. And I'll tell you, our travel industry is going to be supporting you all the way. Wherever you go, you're going to be welcome. That's always our goal. So we want to see everything open. We want to see people traveling again. It's going to be good for our mind, body, and soul. And let me add one more for our economy. So I'm really thrilled to see it.
Dave, I want to bring up one other thing, and I'm going to be playing this on the fly. Please be patient with me because this is as we say, a breaking story. But for one who does a lot of traveling, let's put it this way: this is a little bit of a concern. Let me play the report, and then we'll go from here.
Okay.
If you're flying today, check with your airline before heading to the airport. An overnight systems failure delayed some operations for both American and JetBlue Airlines. It was a third-party system that failed, not the airlines themselves. The digital check-in system is back online, but the airlines are playing catch-up. Airports in New York, Miami, and Charlotte are dealing with some of the biggest disruptions. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Yeah, as the one who does a lot of flying, yeah, when that happens, big trouble.
Yeah, and of course, just before the holiday, the thing is, we're still not back anywhere near back to our normal numbers when it comes to flying within the country. So if it's going to happen, let it happen now. We are learning a lot about technology, aren't we? We're so dependent on technology. Look at the pipeline issue down in the Southeast, the hack there that caused all these issues. I think, as we move forward, we really do need to work on redundancies, especially in the travel industry, to make sure that if one system goes down, another can come back up. Let's just hope that we figure these things out and we get a little bit smarter with, our ways to deal with these people who find nothing better to do than attack other people with electronic hacking and such. So we'll see.
One other thing, and then we'll let you go, Dave. And I know it's sort of a newsy type thing today instead of looking for things going on in the area. The MEDC, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, which of course, Pure Michigan is under that umbrella. New leadership. How much do you know of the new man that's coming on board?
Talked to him the other day, chatted back and forth, and met him for the first time in one of those corporate meetings where we're introduced to him. I am really impressed. A young man from New Orleans, a lot of experience in economic development. What I most like about him personally is, like me, he uses a lot of sports metaphors, and he has that real fighting attitude. And I was really pleased to hear him say, I'm going to encourage the staff. He says, I know you're risk takers. I know you're trying your best. You're working hard, but I'm going to encourage you to get out there, take chances, make some mistakes. But in the end, we're going to win, because he believes in this winning spirit. So we need that. And he's going to be the right guy for this position. I'm really thrilled I'm going to be working with him. He doesn't start, I think, until like mid-July or mid-August, because he still has some contractual obligations back in New Orleans, but it's going to be great to have him on board.
Along the lines, and this is more of a generic question than anything else, sometimes you want somebody, when somebody to take over the leadership, he or she, sometimes let's promote somebody from within, reward somebody for long service and long loyalty. Others say, hey, let's get somebody else from the outside, sort of a fresh, new approach. To a certain extent, that's what the MEDC is doing with the new man from Louisiana.
Yeah, and of course, I had nothing to do with the selection process, but they did a nationwide search, wanting to make sure they found the person with the right skills, experience, and not only ideas, but just his overall way of doing things. I can tell he's a very friendly guy. He's a father of, I think he said 3. And I know his one daughter, I believe, is in the Army, I believe it is. So I'm just really impressed. And I'm really positive we're going to be able to not only get the MEDC moving, as it has been. I mean, we've been really doing some great things, especially this last year during COVID, but we need to continue that progress. And actually, as hard as it is for me to say, we need to really step it up because after what we've been through, the state really needs to get back on track. I know we're going to do it.
Dave Lorenz is the vice president of Pure Michigan. He joins us every Friday, or most Fridays, to talk about travel and tourism with us on the Terrible Michigan segment. Dave, as always, thank you very much. And if all goes well, let's go back to talking about some events going on for Memorial Day weekend when next we chat next Friday morning, if all goes well.
Sounds good, Gary. See y'all.
Thank you very much. Dave Lorenz, 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.